Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Kansas City. We're really excited that you're here today. We are really an experimental education platform from entrepreneurs to be able to present their ideas to other entrepreneurs, share their stories and their successes and their failures, and how we can learn from each other, both from the room and from the stage. We give each entrepreneur 6 minutes to present their idea. We try really hard to shut them off at 6 minutes, and then 20 minutes of Q&A. So today, you get to participate. So after each presentation takes place, we really want to open up the room. We'll bring mics around to you, and we want you guys to ask the questions of the entrepreneur. Ask them how they got to where they are, what's working, get clarification on their business, and so on and so forth. So each week, we bring up 2 entrepreneurs. Again, they get 6 minutes and 20 minutes of Q&A, and we do a few announcements in between. Cool thing is this has been going on for over a year now, almost a year and a half, and we are now in, tell me the actual number of cities. 17 cities across the nation, which is really exciting. So I started here in Kansas City, and we're trying to take over the world. So that's what entrepreneurs do, right? Okay, so we have a few visitors. So first off, I want to have the Ice House facilitators stand up. Stand up. Wow, that's a big group. I want to welcome them. Thank you, guys. And I think we have some people from Fast Track facilitators as well. Is that true? Yep, there we go. Welcome them. Spring Hill High School, please stand up. Yeah. And then we'll have some other announcements throughout the break, but we've got several guests with us today that we're really excited to hear. If you're here for the first time, raise your hand. Okay, now let's take for just really to get a different consensus. Not our special groups. Everybody else that's here for the first time outside of a special group. That's great. That's fantastic. Thank you, guys. So we're really excited that you're here. Some housekeeping rules. Yes. I want to welcome them as well. Nice. Okay, so housekeeping rules real quick. We're extremely thankful to Kauffman Foundation for allowing us to use their space. What a beautiful space. We started over in K-Labs and pretty quickly outgrew K-Labs and had to move into this big room. And it's such an honor to be able to be here. We want to thank them for facility, Thou Mayest for the coffee, and lots of other people. But just a few things. Please pick up after yourself. Just take your cups of coffee back to the back before you guys leave, just to say thank you. So let's get started, okay? I had an opportunity when we had this application come in to check out Healthy Hip Hop, right? And if you just do a Google search for it, it's great because you get these awesome personalities that are so incredibly passionate about changing the scene, really, of how young people think about health. So I really want to give a very, very warm 1 Million Cups welcome to Jake with Healthy Hip Hop.
Thank you. Thank you for that, and thank all of you guys for showing up and making this 1 Million Cups very strong and as big as it is. My name is Jake Zinn. I'm with Linda Hand Family. Linda Hand Family is a nonprofit organization that uses education and entertainment to influence healthy habits and positive lifestyles in young people and their families. I want to share a quote. Throughout the last 25 years, a new form of expression has continued to evolve, despite the efforts of many in the so-called establishment to minimize its influence on young people. Hip-hop has become a widespread form of communication, exhibited and enjoyed by young people throughout the world. It represents a multi-billion-dollar industry that influences everything from automotive design, fashion, primetime TV, pro and college sports, mass media marketing, and Madison Avenue advertising. Today, hip-hop, for many, is a way of life, a culture that is intricately woven into every aspect of young people's daily lives. And that's an article from the online journal of Urban Youth Culture. And that thoroughbred thug in the middle is myself back in high school. I'm sure all of you guys have pictures the same. And just in case I didn't drive it home, if Drake and the President of the United States had showed up at my high school on the exact same day to give a presentation, I'm pretty sure that the President would have had no audience. Our vision for Linda Hand Family and how we kind of fit into this whole picture is to use entertainment and education programs to motivate individuals and families to build healthy lifestyles. Linda Hand Family Linda Hand Family accomplishes this through multifaceted products, programs, and partnerships that help finance and spread the word of positive living, strong character, success, and good health. I don't know if everyone knows, but one of our board members, Chris Zanito, is a 17-year-old entrepreneur who sold his business to LinkedIn for about $12 million recently. So it's very possible for high school kids to learn code and achieve their dreams, and that's sort of the message that we want to present to the youth today, and we have a very dedicated staff of board members that you all can look at. We have really big partners at Linda Hand Family. We have an official partnership with LeBron James and the LeBron James Family Foundation, the guys of H3 TV, GeoMotion, Outpost Worldwide, the College Basketball Experience, and Union Station in Science City. We have two really big initiatives that we're trying to tackle at this point. One is we're very blessed to have the unique opportunity to bring the I Promise Tour that is currently facilitated by the LeBron James Family Foundation in Akron to the children of the Kansas City, Missouri School District. As a piece of this, LeBron has already committed to filming a message to the youth of the Kansas City, Missouri School District to help kick this off. Another big initiative is, which I'll give you a sneak peek of here in a second, is a TV show. Now, there's going to be a 13-episode television show that we're hoping to find the funding for and go ahead and shoot. But LeBron has already committed to and filmed a short segment for this program. So like you see, we have a really strong partnership with LeBron James and the LeBron James Family Foundation. And so I'll give you a quick little sneak peek of what's to come. Feel free to bounce.
Keep it moving to the beat. This is TV that you watch on your feet. Exercise, it's fun to dance with Rappin' Roy and the Magic Man. Being active, staying healthy with all my friends around to help me. Hip and hop with the puppet team. Animation with Blue Dream, cause you can be what you wanna be when you're tuned in to H3 TV. Thinking big, stay positive. H3 is a movement for the kids. Reggie Reg, he's a crazy dude. Rappin' Roy, you know I'm extra cool. Put it together and what do you get? Excitement and entertainment. Having fun, that's what we do. And you can join along, it's up to you. Get off the couch, jump up and down. Stretch your muscles and move around. Cause the time is now to improve your health. So focus hard and prepare yourself. The music playing and we all grooving. Best believe we're gonna keep it moving. Come on, we gon' keep it moving. Let's go and keep it moving.
Keep it moving with H3 TV.
How's everybody doing? Come on, let me feel the energy. How's everybody doing? That's what I'm talking about. Now, what we're about to do is we are about to cut a little bit of music on. I don't expect you all to go back to your high school days. Excuse me, I know y'all. We're about to cut some music on in a minute, and all we want you all to do is stand up with us and just move. This is what is spearheading all across the country. Girl, you know I'm loud. I am loud. Yeah. Sorry, I get excited. So we're about to cut some music on, and I need everyone to just stand up. This is cool. We're exercising to start the morning off. All right, let's go.
Okay, I'm Rappin' Roy, and this is our healthy hip hop, and this is what we do to get the kids up and going, exercising and having fun, and not even realizing they're actually getting some good exercise in. So this is our song, Clap Your Hands, and we'll keep it moving. Might have to turn it up a little bit on the house system, DJ. Clap, 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 clap. clap. Now if you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Now if you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Now stomp, 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 stomp. Here we go. Hey, now if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Hey, come on everybody, we gon' do the dance. Hey, first you lean to the left, then you move to the right, then you dip forward, then you bounce back twice. Now if you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Hey, we gon' bust a move to the beat. Hey, first you lean to the left, then you move to the right, then you dip forward, then you bounce back. Now if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Now if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. So just to give you an example of the healthy hip hop and how we reach the kids through music, entertainment, and finding that innovative approach to get them excited about making healthy lifestyle decisions and getting them active and getting them moving, because we all know it's a very important initiative with childhood obesity in this country, because it's really taking a big effect on our kids.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, I'm sure you weren't expecting to come here and do that. So, if you need to take a breather, we totally understand, but we'll open it up for questions.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the room for questions. We have more mic runners. Strong? Okay. Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Thanks. That was awesome. What's your target age range that you're looking to interact with? Is it elementary school? Does this go up through high school? What's your thoughts there?
And I'm sorry, elementary age group is the focus, but we have healthy hip hop products for elementary age all the way up to high schoolers. Yeah, it changes a bit because we know our high schoolers are so cool, but elementary.
It's not
Roy,
not quite happy as you know it, clap your hands, but.
What Roy is about to hold up is our elementary age CD. Is called Listen and Learn. That's kiddier. It has motivational messages. Happy and you know it, clap your hands. The wheels on the bus go round and round. All remade remixes with the hard hip hop beats, positive messages. Middle school CD, Back to School. Say no to drugs, stop bullying, internet safety, getting ready for college. You all probably can't imagine how many shows we do where it's for an elementary age student and the parents are playing music that only we should be listening to. If you're letting your kids hear music that's degrading women, glorifying guns and drugs and violence, then guess what? You're programming them at an early age. We're trying to get them to focus early. Thank you. And that is Generation H3, and that is probably really majority of Roy Scott. I call it the Roy Scott boycott. As you can see, I'm really over the top, goofy, a little crazy, and for high schoolers, I'd probably be a little much. Yeah. So we let, So we let Rap and Roy take that over, and we also have a DVD. This is one of 3 DVDs we have. It's all about keeping kids physically and mentally active. So they're dancing with myself and Rap and Roy to the cool music. And that's kind of an idea of some of our products, including merchandise.
Yeah, you have an algebra hip hop line.
Well, that's actually what we're working on next. We're working on a whole line of education. No, seriously, we're working on education-based hip hop, just to drive it home, you know, the message about education, but also the academic portion where we're actually teaching algebra or science or American history or world history, et cetera. So that's all coming. This is just the base.
And we actually have a partnership. It was with the GeoMotion, where they actually had it's kind of like early computer gaming for kids, where it's a mat, but it's not connected to any Xbox or PS3. But it's this mat. You lay it down. And there's a television program where these guys are the characters, and it's got numbers and counting and
that's for the elementary age, where we can do sight words. We do what is it? Sight words is what was the other one? Nutrition. That's more about education, nutrition. So it's sight words, mathematics, nutrition. It's real simple, but that's for the elementary age group.
Question back here on your left.
One of the things I saw was that you were doing a partnership with the Kansas City Public Schools. I'd like you to go into that. And why not the large number of other school districts around, especially the Johnson County schools?
Well, we're actually real big in Johnson County, and the difference is, just to be honest, is that
we will partner with them as well. But Johnson County, they have more of a budget, so actually we got a show in Johnson County today. We'll be at Cottonwood Point Elementary today, and so the Kansas City district, obviously they're just they're struggling with finding funding for certain things. So that's why we did a partnership to kind of encourage kids about the attendance and reading. Because I know they have a new thing, it's called the MSIP-5, which is they have to meet 90% attendance and I think a 2.7 grade point average. So we're putting together some type of incentives through the music, through the entertainment to get the kids, on track with their academics. So that's more of our partnership with the Kansas City district, but we're looking at partnering with obviously other districts as well.
Got one for you up front here.
Hello, Bob King. With the success of like Farmville and Candy Crush and Words with Friends shows that competition and gamification is huge. Do you have any kind of a gamification or competition aspects with yours to encourage kids to outperform each other?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're paying attention to all that's going on, and H3TV.com is our online network. We're housing all of our content from our dancing, exercise, education, and there's also going to be online gaming for kids. Gonna be having games like Dodge the Donut, you see what I'm saying? So where they can have fun and play their game and incorporate that health message. So we're gonna have online gaming, the television show, just everything, all the mediums that today's child is using.
Next question in the back here.
This is super exciting. I'm so glad you're partnering with the KCPS. I was wondering if you have any ins with our Parks and Rec department potentially. That seems like another place that we might be able to get some traction.
We've been very fortunate over the last 3 years to work with the Kansas City Parks and Recs. In addition, I think we do all their holiday parties, their Christmas events, and sometimes special events during the summer. We're also with the Bonner Springs Parks and Recs. So the good thing about us as entertainers is in this market, we do about 30 to 50 shows a month. Birthday parties, carnivals, schools, daycares, we do all that. This month, 46 shows. So this is what we do to reach our kids. Thank you.
Question here.
It seems like a lot of your, the H3TV.com programs are kind of a daily push to get kids to do what's going to make them healthier, which I love because I'm a health coach. What are you doing to reach the urban core kids who don't have that regular access to technology?
Well, one of the things that we're doing obviously is the hands-on performances where we're engaging with the kids directly. And also one of the things that the Kansas City Public School District is doing, I think it's already started, but they have their own channel on Time Warner, and it is on Comcast too, I believe. And we're going to be airing our content during their link before and after school program, excuse me. So that's one of the ways we're doing it. And that's actually part of our partnership is we're doing stop-ins on the kids. So it's not like a one-stop thing where we're just hitting and missing. We have a whole follow-up program for sustainability to come through and follow up, check the progress, and make sure that this is being effective and engaging that with measurements as well.
Got one for you here.
Oh, awesome. Are you going to work on something for middle-aged, middle-class white guys?
We actually have one now. It's called Do the Tomahawk Chop. You'll see that soon. Anybody can do it.
I'm not a Florida State fan, but I was sitting there and thinking if my girlfriend was here, she'd be saying, "Get up and dance." This is amazing stuff. I think there might be a missed opportunity for you to connect with the folks here at Kaufman and people like Gary to have an entrepreneurial message. And if you work with Gary here from the Ice House, you might even be able to teach him to dance.
I mean, well, the cool thing is that one of the things we've been doing to open doors is I've been writing a lot of jingles. I wrote something for the CBE, for the LeBron James Foundation, for GeoMotion. So I could pretty much write a song for anything. So I'm going to write one for the Kaufman Foundation. It's coming soon.
Next question in the back here.
Good morning. I'm really excited about the program you're presenting today. And my question, I heard you say something about sustainability. I worked in the Kansas City, Missouri School District resource-starved district for 8 years, and I am so excited about this. My question is, how long do you see the partnership lasting with the district? And is there anything that extends not only to the students, but does this process include teachers and other adults that are working in the district as well?
Well, we're looking at probably a 3-year partnership to start, and we realized that we can reach the kids, but one of the important things is reaching these parents as well, and because they're the ones that control a lot of what the children are eating, what they're doing, habits, et cetera. So we're doing some more community-based stuff to include families, whole families, but also engaging in the schools to get the music to these kids, the positive music, because as Reggie mentioned, you know, with the healthy hip hop, we take the same approach with the urban beat and the pop culture beat, but just put a clean message. So versus, you know, 2 Chainz or whatever the kids is listening to now that just is totally negative and taking you kids on the wrong path. So the creative way we're taking is definitely we want to get in the schools, but we want to get in the communities as well. So trying to take that approach so we can have a real impact.
Question here in the very, very back.
Part question, part props. My kids saw you a few weeks ago, loved it, great show, and maybe you could talk about the magic aspect. I assume that's part of this same company, but I didn't see it up there.
Oh, yes, the magic is a part of the same thing, and thank you. We always have fun with our kids. I am a professional magician, juggler, balloon artist, motivational speaker, and I've been a professional entertainer since the age of 12. And that's why one reason when we speak to a room of entrepreneurs or young people, we always let them know, never stop dreaming and focus on what you're great at. Because I've been an entrepreneur since 12. So I know what it means to work hard and to have doors shut and for people to say, you know, as a young magician, it was so hard because I'm a brother, I'm a brogician, so you know, I had to find a way. So I didn't give excuses. What I did was found ways to have doors open. So when I came to Kansas City, I had my picture. So if you don't like brothers, don't call me, yeah. But that's just being honest, that's being honest. So, you know, so did what we had to do. But yes, magic, because if you think about it, we make a live dove appear at the beginning of the show. Once we make that bird appear, these kids are listening. Now I can say, so we're not going on in front of kids preaching. We make a bird appear, now I can say, work hard in school, stay focused. Rappin' Roy's been doing music since he was a kid. You can be great. But it hurts when a kid comes up to us and says, Magic Man, you said I can be a doctor, but my daddy said I'm not smart enough. That happens. And that's why we're so animate about the inner city, because we're all over Johnson County. Great parents, great teachers, great district. We go into the inner city, that's where the issues are. And that's nationally, not just Kansas City, nationally.
We're gonna do one up front.
Steve Fuller with the Language Project Kids. Have you guys thought about doing stuff in Spanish? And we would probably love to sit down and have that conversation with you guys if you were looking at that.
Absolutely, and I'll just say that I know with the H3 brand, it's called H3 Healthy Hip Hop, but it's bigger than hip hop, because not only with the TV show that will be national next fall, it's also going to be, we have a Hispanic artist that we want to bring out, a young artist that the kids will be able to relate to. Because Roy and I may be the ones that are kind of jump-starting the H3 movement in the faces now, but we're not going to be the faces in another 5-10 years. It's going to be the newer generation. We have a young man that's going to be a rocker. He's going to be playing the guitar and has that Justin Bieber look. And guess what? He's going to be talking about positive things. That's the point. So yes, yes, definitely.
Last question here to your left.
You mentioned that you're bringing in other artists. Are those going to be just part of the existing show, or are you also looking at other artists to have multiple shows so that you can hook kids in other cities, other regions? Because obviously this group is demonstrating there's a great response to the live show, and online and television is a great supplement to that. But just like any other artist, it's the touring that really gets your stickiness. That those are the people that are going to continue to do downloads or access the TV or website version of H3.
We definitely are going to expand. We're looking at this being nationwide and also global, but we're realistic and know we have to start, from the ground up. So we're starting locally, but we are setting up as far as the music to be touring the country, and also with the H3 TV network, it'll be more than just our kids' television show. There'll actually be different, content, even for high school age, for middle school age. So it's going to be a variety, but all positive and clean cut content.
Oh, yeah. So the real quick question is, where can we get the CDs, first off, for the kids and stuff? So go ahead and shoot that.
Well, it's at US Toy. You can get them there, the physical copies, and you can also order online at h3tv.com. And it's on iTunes. Everything is on iTunes as well.
Okay, well, I'm really excited about what you guys are doing. This is a fantastic thing for our community. We didn't get a chance for you to really go into it that you touched on, and I'm really glad that you said that, which is the expansion, how you're wanting to go beyond just Kansas City, and I think that's a great thing to show coming from us.
Yeah, well, we think certainly with the LeBron James partnership and bringing the I Promise tour, their big thing is they want to expand, and the Kansas City, Missouri School District would be a great model to build. But with that partnership and really the way that we're approaching it, we feel it's definitely scalable to a lot of cities that are in need.
Yeah. Okay, so with 1 Million Cups, if this is your first time, we always wrap up our presentations with a question that we think is really powerful, and that is, you probably have, I'm guessing, 300 plus people here, maybe more than that, I haven't counted. What can we as a community do to help support you in your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, the big thing we're looking for right now is funding and people that really help us execute these first two ideas of the I Promise tour, as well as the TV show. So my contact information is jake.zinn at lahf.org. Just reach out and network with us afterwards. If you have any other school districts or anything else, any other ideas you think could really help build some synergy around this, please let us know.
Great. Now, I know there was a lot of questions left. After our second presentation, please catch these guys, ask your questions, engage with them, and support them. Great job, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Got a great crowd today. Just want to put up a couple announcements for y'all to listen to. First is Blake Isaacs, who's one of our 1 Million Cups alumni from Genio.
Hey guys, the leadership here is kind enough to give me 30 seconds to tell you. Now, I presented here about 6 months ago, and we talked about doing a Kickstarter project at that time. And I'm here to announce that we just went live on Kickstarter 2 days ago. So you can find us on the Kickstarter website. You can find us on our website, which is genio.com, GENNEO.com. You can find us on our Facebook or our LinkedIn. So just go out there and look and see what we're up to. If you just open Kickstarter from here in Kansas City, it's aware of your location. So you can see that. Our products, here's 2 prototypes. Both of these will be available through Kickstarter. And for those of you who remember, you just carry it with you, and it grabs energy from being carried that you can charge your phone with, or anything else that charges off a USB device, okay? So if you want to ask me questions afterward, I'll be here, but I think that's all the time I can take now. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Blake. And if you guys, if you watch the video, you'll see a cameo of one of our 1 Million Cups organizers. It's a good-looking shoulder blade you got, John. Okay, so next up, Aaron Deacon with a quick announcement from the Gigabit Challenge.
Gigabit Explorers. Hi, Aaron Deacon with KC Digital Drive. 30 seconds is short. We are having another Gigabit hackathon, basically trying to figure out how to, some applications that we can deploy in the city to use the fiber to the home infrastructure that we have. We did an event actually with Kaufman. We did part of it here in March. Had several successful apps come out of that, and we're continuing that work. We're partnering with Mozilla Foundation, US Ignite, and Google Fiber. This is November 1st through the 3rd. We're still looking for developers and techs to come and join teams. We've got about 10 to 15 teams that have already formed in some capacity. And then we also have an event that's open to the public on Sunday night. It'll be at the Fiber Space from 4 to 6. Anyone's welcome to come and see the demos for the kinds of things that people have created. Thanks a lot.
Okay, next in our super fast string of announcements, Courtney from UNKC is going to tell us a little bit about the great delegation that we have here from Kazakhstan.
Hi, I'm Courtney Brooks. I'm the Executive Director at the Kansas City International Visitors Council, and we today have the honor of hosting an open world group from Kazakhstan. The delegation includes 2 deputy governors, so they're here in Kansas City to talk about business and investment and how our industries here in Kansas and Missouri relate to theirs. At 10 a.m. in the Kansas City room, if anyone is interested in sticking around for a presentation on Kazakhstan and investment opportunities there, that's where we'll be, 10 a.m. Kansas City room.
Awesome, that was great. That was really short. Okay, so just one more quick announcement about a 1 Million Cups alumni. I know you guys probably remember Boys Grow, one of our most successful presentations, yeah, and definitely our first standing ovation here at 1MC. But they're gonna be holding a fundraiser Tuesday, October 29th at 6:30 p.m. at Lydia's in the Crossroads. They're shutting down the entire restaurant. The boys are gonna be there demonstrating their ketchup and their products and doing cooking demonstrations. It's gonna be really fun. So we hope you'll come out and support them. And then finally, we wanna remind you all that if you know of someone who's ready to present at 1 Million Cups, ask them to apply online. We're always looking for new companies here in Kansas City and around the country to kind of have these great and inspiring presentations that we see every week. So next up, we've got Wade here from Zapier. They're from Columbia. They're a Silicon Prairie startup that was accepted to Y Combinator and has now moved out to Mountain View, California. So we're really proud to have them back here in KC for the Compute Midwest Conference and hope you enjoy their presentation.
Got Mike here. Thank you for the intro. My presentation will have a lot less dancing, so hopefully you won't hold that against me. So my name is Wade. I'm co-founder and CEO of Zapier. It's a web automation platform where you can connect all sorts of different tools. Spare you the product pitch. You can check it out at zapier.com. But we do have over 100,000 users across 100 countries in the world. We have 8 employees. We should be cash flow positive by the end of the year. But the interesting thing about us is none of that actually existed 26 months ago. We were just 3 20-something dudes in Columbia, Missouri, hoping to do something bigger, with no successes on our belt. And so this is our story. And it begins in September of 2011 with an instant message chat. So my buddy Brian, who is now my co-founder, shoots me a quick IM and says, hey, wouldn't it be cool to build something that connects APIs and lets like regular people use the power of APIs? And we had terrible taglines and terrible names for what this would actually be at the time. But it sounded kind of cool. And so later that month, there was Startup Weekend in Columbia, Missouri, the very first one. We took the idea there, pitched it, and lucky enough to win with a barely functioning demo. It actually broke while we were presenting, but we still managed to win. And if you're familiar with Startup Weekend, you'll know most teams don't actually continue on after the weekend. So it was a little bit different for us. We connected really well, things were going great, and we felt like we can actually make a real run at this. So we started working, in addition to our day jobs, another 40 hours a week, nights, weekends, slaving away to try and get something out. And that hard work eventually paid off. In December of 2011, we got our very first customer. Andrew Warner of Mixergy paid us $100 via PayPal, product sight unseen. He was just convinced that it was a good idea. And he actually tweeted about it. This was one of the best days of my life. Very first customer, and it was only $100, but it felt really, really good. And that hard work led to 10 customers, and then 100 customers, and then 1,000 customers. And eventually, I sat down and had to have the hard conversation with my wife about when is it time to go full-time on this product. We weren't making much money at the time, barely enough. So we did the math. We figured with her salary, we could find a way to make it work. And so in January, I actually went full-time on Zapier. My two co-founders followed along shortly thereafter. And as we were working full-time, we realized one thing was that all of our partners, all these integrations we were doing, these companies were all located in Silicon Valley. Companies like Salesforce and Evernote and Yammer all had offices there. And while we thought we could build a good company here in the Midwest, we felt it would be nice to be next door to those partners. So we made the very tough choice and applied to Y Combinator, which has funded companies like Dropbox, Airbnb, Reddit, and many other consumer internet brands that you're probably familiar with. And we were fortunate enough to get in. So in June of 2012, we packed our bags, had tearful goodbyes with friends and family, and we moved to Mountain View, California. And it ultimately turned out to be a great choice. We launched our product in June of 2012. We got coverage in TechCrunch, Wired, NextWeb, lots of outlets like that. Ironically, didn't do much for getting new customers, but what it did do was get us on the radar of lots of different SaaS companies. We had people like Box, HubSpot, Podio knocking down our doors, wanting to do integrations with Zapier, which was pretty cool to see. And then as we worked throughout the summer through Y Combinator, it got to be around Demo Day, started to think about funding. So we're making a little bit of money now, a little bit more than we were when I went full-time. We could probably support one person, but we're in the Bay Area and it's so dang expensive. So we're thinking, should we raise some money or not? We could have gotten by without it, but ultimately decided having a little bit of money would be in the bank would be good, and our wives really appreciated not eating ramen every single night. So that ultimately made the choice that we raised some money in September of 2012. Now, we're pretty good at building products, but now the real challenge came where we have to build a team and build a company. And we don't know anything about building a company. We've never done this before. So the only thing that we do know is that we just want to work with smart people. And so all the smart people we know are here back in the Midwest. And so we start reaching out to people who we know, and and we hired 2 guys in Columbia, Missouri, 1 in Chicago, Illinois, 1 in Omaha, Nebraska. And we're building a distributed team. So there's 8 of us now across 5 cities in the United States. If you're interested, we have job postings on the site. You can check it out. And it seems to be going well. We're doing great with the distributed team. But it wasn't all easy over those 2 years. The second year of Zapier was probably the hardest year of my life. We moved away from our support system. Now, granted, we have a great support system in the Valley now, too, but the people who had grown up with us and cared about us were here in the Midwest. Mike, his mom was diagnosed with cancer. Luckily, she survives, so good thing there. Last year, my father passed away from a heart attack. 6 months ago, Brian, my co-founder, his father-in-law, passed away of a stroke. These were all things that could not have been seen, couldn't have been predicted. And it makes you question whether it's worth it to go all in on a company when I could go back to a cushy job, have fun going to tailgates at Mizzou Tiger games on Saturdays, or go see the Cardinals play at Busch Stadium, things like that. Made me question that. But ultimately, I was driven by making something that people love. And getting tweets like this on a daily basis where people are saying like, oh my Zapier, where have you been all my life? Or wow, Zapier is amazing. Things like that really get me up in the morning and make me excited to be working on the product that we have. And so that's our short history of how we've gotten to where we are today. You can follow me at Wade Foster, send me an email, wade@zapier.com. Happy to take questions, answer questions about our product team, how we've gotten here, struggles that we've had along the way, things like that.
So let's do questions. Great job.
I just have a quick one. What do you do?
So,
I knew that was coming.
Excellent question.
Yeah, there it is.
We have lots of integrations between various web apps. So you could take like attachments from Gmail, save them to Dropbox. If you're running an event on Eventbrite, you could take those leads and move them into Salesforce. You could take calendar events on Google Calendar, move them to Evernote. It's just really easy for regular people to make integration between the cloud apps and tools you're already using today.
So I'll give a little testimony. I actually get a text every morning that tells me the, I think, weather and the forecast because I set up a recipe that says, hey, at dawn, I want to get a text that shows you the weather. So it's
there you go, Zapier customer user in the room.
Congratulations on the amazing success. As far as funding goes, you hear different things about why people like Y Combinator are interested in different companies. There's ideas and there's people. What do you think it is about your company that they specifically saw? Was it just a good idea? Do you think you have an amazing team? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, great question. So we actually applied to Y Combinator in October of 2011, right after Startup Weekend, and got rejected. Then we applied again in the spring for the summer batch, and we got in that time. The big difference for us was traction. So when we applied before, we just had a product demo, and that was it. It was terrible. In the spring when we applied, we had a beta group. We had 1,000 people using the app. We had YC companies using it, vouching for us. We had a marketing engine. We understood how we were going to grow it from 1,000 customers to 100,000 to 1 million. We didn't have all the answers, but we had enough little tidbits to grasp onto so that YC and the partners, when they looked at us, they could say, hey, these guys are smart. You know, even if this thing doesn't work out that they're working on, they're going to figure something out. And that's what YC is mostly looking for, is just smart people who are going to be able to figure something out.
A question here in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your business model? How do you get paid?
Freemium, so you can use the app for free. You hit certain usage levels and you pay a monthly subscription.
You told me earlier before we got started that you're actually, for being what we would consider taking investment, you're actually looking at being cash flow positive in the near future, which is, talk a little bit more about what it's like to get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, funding is kind of all the rage. You know, that's what gets you written up in press and stuff like that. But ultimately, having a business that's cash flow positive where you can be sustainable makes you sleep a lot easier at night. Your destiny isn't controlled by other people. It's controlled by yourself and by your customers. And it makes you be able to succeed for a longer period of time, hopefully indefinitely. Recurring revenue is great too, by the way. If you can get recurring revenue, that's awesome.
Other questions? I actually have a question. You have a great story, and I think that one of the exciting things is to see a successful company come out of Startup Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned a lot of the companies that obviously that come out of Startup Weekend don't actually go on. What made you say, no, we're not going to be the same thing that everybody else does coming out of that?
First, I think it's fine that most Startup Weekend companies don't continue on. It's just a great learning experience. Anyway, if you haven't gone to one, you should go to one. Check it out. For us, what kept us going was that I'd actually been friends with Brian for years before. We played music together. We were friends, and so we'd done consulting projects together, so we were already a good pair. And then Brian had worked with my other co-founder, Mike, on some other things before. And through the weekend, it just gelled really, really well. You know, we had our name picked out in 5 minutes, and by Friday night, we already had like the bare bones of the app kind of out there. And so it just felt like this was a team that was going to be able to get stuff done, for lack of a better word. And so we just kept working on it. It was something that we all wanted to do too. We were working for other people, but we weren't excited about it. We wanted to start a company, and this was the idea that got us excited about it.
I have a question in the back of the room here.
How are you different than if this, then that?
So our main focus is on B2B. So we have integrations with Salesforce and Eventbrite, MailChimp, Wufoo. We have 250 integrations. You can connect multiple accounts. Yeah, check it out. You'll see why.
Question up here in the front.
When you talked about your distributed team, the first thing that came to my mind was Automatic, the company behind WordPress. Yep. And it's very successful. So how are you planning to recruit talent, but also maintain that corporate company culture when people are distributed? Have you already started thinking about how you're going to do that?
The great thing about recruiting talent is that there's people all over the world who want to work in distributed teams. In fact, if you're not going to Compute Midwest, I think that my talk will be online then, but I'm going to talk a lot about distributed teams there. But ultimately, recruiting is no problem at all. Lots of people want to work for cool companies and don't have access to them in places all over the world. In terms of company culture, that's a very hard thing to get right with a distributed team. But fortunately, because you're remote, it forces you to think about it. Most co-located teams don't even think about culture. They're just like, put a ping pong table in, solves the problem, right? That's not really true. So we think a lot about how we work, how we communicate, the things that we do with our teammates to make culture work. There's actually, their latest post on the blog is about this, zapier.com/blog. You can check it out.
A question right here.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about your application and as it relates to like Microsoft products? Can you do anything like take information from a jot form and put it in an Excel spreadsheet? That's one question. And the second question is, what is the customer need that you identified that led to this?
So first question, jot form into an Excel spreadsheet, we can't do because Microsoft doesn't do good things with APIs. But we can do jot form to Google spreadsheet. So if you use Google Docs, you can make that happen. About the customer need, one of the things we realized was if you go look at the help forms for all these different services online, they are littered with questions about integration. It's like, can your product connect with this? Can your product connect with that? Can your product do this? And like the answers from all the companies are, no, check out our API. But that's not an answer for most people because they can't actually code and do anything with an API. So we were like, how can we answer yes to those people without making them code? And that was the initial idea for Zapier. And so we built like a PayPal high-rise integration at Startup Weekend. And one by one, we just added new integrations until we built our dev platform a year ago. And now we have other companies who do integrations with us. So companies like HubSpot, Podio, Box, all did the integration with us. Network effects, scalable, and that's why we have 250 integrations today.
Wonderful. Next question in the middle.
Yep.
It's kind of a segue. So between your Startup Weekend, Y Combinator, and the success which you have, can you share your thought around the customer validation, how you went about knowing that you're kind of developing the product which you have?
So the first thing was finding these forums where people were already asking for that. That just proved that there was a need for these types of things. Integration has been done in the past. Every SaaS app has some form of integration. So it wasn't much, there wasn't much to be done in terms of proving the need. People were asking for it already. It was that they were underserved. These people didn't have a product that they could buy. They didn't have something that they could use. They didn't have something that was easy to use. There was enterprise products that cost thousands of dollars a month and took months to set up. There wasn't a nice self-serve, easy way to do it. So for us, a lot of it just boiled down to, can we make a product to serve these people who are like online and yelling and screaming that they want something? And so that's what we tried to do.
Question over here.
I caught something that said that for any pair of APIs, you need to make an integration tool. So if you have 10 APIs and you want to make integration tools, you're going to need 90 total integration tools. If you have 11, you're going to need 110 separate integration tools. This is a very steeply rising function.
Yes.
You've got to have a solution for that in the long run.
It's a hub and spoke. So anytime you add a new API, it connects to a hub, and it automatically works with everything else. So this is the magic of Zapier, is that each new one creates exponentially more integrations with not having to do exponentially more amount of work.
Other questions? You mentioned the second year of the company. What year are you at now?
This is our third year, so we started, I actually have our LLC thing that we filed for in the state of Missouri. It was October 4th, 2011.
So you mentioned that the second year was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
What specifically in the business space, making those hard decisions with building a team or raising the money, what was the biggest challenge, if you could name one, that you came up against?
A lot of it was that, it was a kind of a good problem to have, in that we had too much demand for stuff that we couldn't fulfill it between the three of us. And the product itself wasn't fully fleshed out yet. So there was, and today we still have errors that come in all the time. We still have things that break. Now, for the most part, 99% of the time, everything works swimmingly because we've got smart people that are helping us now. But that second year, our queuing server would go down at least 5 to 10 minutes every day, which was awful. We had our phones set up to like ding us and our emails to ping us when like things went down. And it was like every day. And so I still have nightmares when my co-founder's phone goes off and makes that noise because I think the queue server has gone down again. But luckily, we found James, James is in Colombia, and he does all our sysadmin stuff now. And I haven't heard that noise in many, many years, or many months, I guess. So that helps me sleep a little better.
So a quick raise of hands. How many of you guys know what an API is? Okay, good. Okay, that's actually a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
What you said that you getting the press coverage was a great opportunity for you to make connections on the B2B side for working with the other SaaS companies. What have you done, or what have you found worked really well for actually finding customers that wanted to make the the connections between the APIs?
Great question. So the first thing was those forums. Like we got our first customers. Like I literally, when we were doing customer validation, I would post links and say like, hey, I'm working on a project. That might solve this thing. Here's a link to it. If you want to get in touch, reach out. So that was the very first, and that would send us, a dozen or so people a day. And then the next thing we worked on was our search stuff. So now if you Google any type of integration, so try JotForm Google Docs right there, and you'll find us in the first search results. Salesforce, Evernote, Unbounce, GoToWebinar. Search all these tools, and I bet you'll find Zapier at least on the first page, if not in the top 3 results. Also, these services have integration directories where they list products that they work with. We're listed on those. And then also, it's just a cool product. It's something that solves a real big need, so we get a lot of word of mouth from people who are just saying like, hey, check this out. You could probably use it for this or that or whatever.
Great. Next question back here.
A little bit of a sidebar question. You hear a lot about the academic environments at Stanford and MIT and all the things that spin out of those places, but you guys come from Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
So could you spend 30 seconds telling a little bit the story of what's going on in Columbia and MU that other people really should know about?
So the Columbia startup community comes from Brant and Brock Bukowski, who run Veterans United. If you're not familiar with that company, they're now over 1,000 employees, most of them which are based in Columbia. And Brant has been a huge proponent of the startup scene in Columbia and fosters it. There's now been probably, I don't know, a half dozen companies that have been spun out of former employees at Veterans United. That's where we were before we started Zapier. And they just do a great job. Like the community is, Columbia's size of 150,000 people. The startup scene isn't that big just because the population isn't that big, but it's very close. There's one building in town where everyone gets together and works on stuff. But the thing that really got us ticking was just that we were into the same stuff. Like we read Hacker News all day and liked to code and drink Red Bull and stuff like that. So.
Question over here.
I actually have a couple questions.
Yeah.
How are you guys funding this? Like, how many users do you have right now?
Great question. So initially it was bootstrapped. So we each put in, I think like $3,000 ourselves. So not much, but a little bit of our savings we put in, and that basically kept the servers on. And then we had our day jobs, which was just like keeping us living. Then when we moved to the Valley, we took a little bit of money from Y Combinator. They fund you. And then that was in March of 2012. And then in September of 2012, we raised our seed round, which was $1.2 million, gave us enough runway that we're not going to have to raise money ever again. Our customers are paying us. We have over 100,000 users. A small percentage, if you're familiar with freemium rates, were comparable. Those tend to be like in the 2 to 5% conversion rate most freemium products are. So that's how many paid customers we have. And it's enough that we should be cash flow positive very soon.
So is this
Great
the only
questions.
thing you're doing?
Yeah, this is the only thing I do. I live and breathe this stuff.
Other questions? Yeah.
Considering you've got some high school students in the room and just other people that may be interested in development, what courses or what classes did you take in high school or in college to help prepare you for a tech job?
Truthfully, none. The biggest thing I would encourage you guys is to be interested in things, do things that get you excited, you know, I did music outside of school. I taught myself a little bit how to code. I don't know it a lot. I had projects where I would spin up AdWords and I would try and get like people to sign up for email lists for products. You know, have Facebook groups where I'd try and get a bunch of likes and stuff on it. Just like messing around with things and just generally being interested in stuff. The one thing I regret not doing is doing more of that, like in high school and even in early college. I didn't actually get into this until later in college. And if I would have done more of that, I probably would have been further along than I am today. So yeah, just be interested in stuff. There's sites all over the web to teach you this sort of things, like Team Treehouse and Udemy and Udacity. And I mean, there's stuff all over the place where you can learn how to code and learn how to do marketing and learn how to do online tech stuff, yeah.
And we have the last question over here.
I love your logo. Who did your logo?
We did, I think. Mike made it the first night and of Startup Weekend. We were actually called Snappier back then, changed our name. That's another story. And yeah, we had it in like 5 or 10 minutes. It's been changed a little bit before that. We used to have the API, well, it's still on our site. This is our new logo. The API part in the middle was kind of a clever shout out to those who like saw that, and it's in gray in our current logo on the site.
What's your exit plan?
Have a long-term sustainable company funded by our customers.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I'm over here on your right. Sorry. It's awkward. We're really excited about the fact that a Midwest company, definitely coming out of Startup Weekend, which I'm really passionate about. I'm very excited to see that. I know that's something Kaufman's definitely connected with. And then really seeing the success that you've had, which is a great story. I'm excited that you're back in town for Compute Midwest. But you do have a room of at least Kansas City folks. What can we do to support you? And you're already a success, but as you grow more.
Go to Zapier.com. There's a sign-up link. Click sign up, check it out, use the product. If you like it, tell your friends.
Oh, do you want me to make that? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Great job. Great job. Yeah. Okay, so the format of this is that we do this every week. So I know we've got some really special guests, but I would love to invite as many as you can to come back next week. And we haven't said this in a while, but bring your friends. We does seem full, but we'd love it to be even more full. We want to share the love of people connecting around a common theme, and really think that the consistency of this is really powerful. So same time, same place next week. And I hate to do this, but we do actually have another event in this space very soon after this. So we're going to have to clear the rooms fairly quickly. But thank you for coming, and have a great day.